Such a beautiful day out here today. I think I might come out here and check on a few things on the C55. Welcome back to the channel. This is my 2005 C55 AMG, and today I'm going to be showing you over a few things that you want to check out on your vehicle, whether it be a Mercedes or whatever else you might drive. A lot of this stuff here I'm going to show you is pretty universal whenever it comes to gasoline powered vehicles. But yeah, without further ado, I'll get started on this thing, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Okay, one of the first things I'm going to check on here is the air filters. Basically, to get to the air filters, it's underneath this great big panel here. Well, I say panel. This is really about the only panel that you have, and if you're lucky enough to have that emblem that goes on this front panel, yeah, it must be nice. I'd like to find a panel one of these days to get put onto here, but yeah, this thing here, it's just kind of held on with a little deal up here in the front, and it should have two more right here in the middle, but yeah, they're gone. So yeah, it basically just kind of lifts up off of there. And the next thing you want to do is go ahead and pull your intake tubes off. Just kind of set them off to the side. And now this whole assembly up here will just basically pop right up. And you want to be very careful back here at the back. This is where your transmission, well, you can basically check your transmission fluid there with the right tool, and I do have the tool, but you want to make sure that you don't lose this, because that's the only thing that keeps water and whatever else from getting down inside of the basically the transmission. But to get your air filters out, you just got a few T25 bolts in here, or screws I should say, and we'll just kind of pop those out. All right, there you go. Now you got one of these on each side. And these filters, I did replace them at the beginning of this year, and they honestly don't look too bad. I've checked them a couple of times, but one thing that's bad about these AMG cars, as you can see right there, with the way the air tubes are set up, and I say AMG cars, a lot of Mercedes are like this, where you'll get bugs and whatnot caught up inside of the air filter housing. And yeah, we'll go ahead and just dump that out into the trash. All right, one thing that I like to do whenever I get the air filters out, I take my my blow nozzle here, and I'll basically kind of blow these filters out. This one here is it's in pretty good shape. It's not too bad, but basically, whenever you blow these things out, you want to blow them out from this side so that you blow the dirt and whatever back through the filter. Um, you know, if you were to take and blow it through this way, you're just going to be caking all of that dirt and everything on the basically on the intake side of the filter, and you don't really want to do that because that's pretty much how you get your filters clogged. But I've already done that one there, and basically the other side is pretty much the same. Whenever it comes to taking it off, you just got 4 bolts or screws, whatever you want to call them there, and you basically just undo those and pop it off and do the same thing that I showed you here. Okay, now that I've got the air filters checked and cleaned out, I'm going to move on and show you a couple of other things that you want to check out. And one of those things would be your serpentine belt. You can see right here that this belt looks pretty good, and in fact it is really good. This belt might be a year old at this point. It's got a little bit of wear on it, you can see, but that right there, I think whatever that is was just on the belt. But one thing that you want to look at whenever you're checking out belts, if your belt here looks like it's cracked, if you can pick up on it like that and you can see cracks in the edge of it, it might be about time for you to think about replacing it. I've seen them get pretty cracked before and still work just fine for a while, but I would honestly, if I started seeing cracks in that one there, I would probably just go ahead and replace it. Another thing that you might want to look at is your spark plug wires, and the same thing kind of goes for them. If you can bend them and you can see cracks in them, it might be a good time to replace your wires too. But other than that, just really checking over like fluid levels, like your power steering right here on this car. If I can get the lid off of it, maybe. There we go. Checking the levels on it, you know, is pretty straightforward. If you can kind of see right there, we're in pretty good shape on power steering fluid, which I knew that we pretty well were. But another thing, you want to check on, like your brake fluid, which is kind of down in behind this panel here on this car. But this thing has got so many panels on it that are hidden, but you can kind of give it a shake there, and you can see pretty much where your fluid level's at, and you can see right there that's where your max is. But one more thing while we're underneath the hood is, well, I say one more thing, 2 more things. You want to take and pop your basically your cabin air filter off here. And well, gosh, I say one more thing, and I actually should have said 3 more things. You want to pop your cabin air filter off here and take a look at it. And this one here, I do need to get it replaced. I need to order one up and get a new one put in there, because that one's pretty dirty. But one other thing, check your battery cables and these here look like they're in pretty good shape. If you see any kind of corrosion on them or stuff like that, it might be time to take it in and let somebody look at it and you know, clean up the posts and all of that. But one thing, especially on a newer Mercedes like this, you just don't really want to go in there and start popping the cables off, because well, it's probably not very good on like the computers and stuff like that. But other than that, the last thing that we'll want to check is the radiator fluid, and make sure that it is you know, to the correct level, which kind of, my camera really won't focus down in there, but it looks like it's doing pretty good. But one other thing that you want to do is you want to check to make sure that your antifreeze is good enough to basically keep your engine from freezing up. And that's where this comes into play. You want to take and stick that tube down inside of the reservoir here, and it's better to do this after you've ran it for a little while, but just take and squeeze the bulb and just kind of fill it up there. And now you want to check to see just exactly where that needle's pointing to. And here in Kansas, the air temperature rarely gets under, say, 10 degrees Celsius. So right there where it's at, about 15 or 16, that's doing pretty good. That's protection enough for here where I live. But if you live, say, up north, you know, maybe even Canada, you'll definitely want that to be, you know, however cold it gets, you know, where you live. So yeah, that pretty much does it for underneath the hood. One other thing that I'll show you here that you want to check before wintertime comes, and this will be pretty, well, you'll notice this a lot quicker than basically anything else, and that's your tires. You really want to get out and inspect your tires before wintertime comes around, because you definitely don't want to be driving out on, you know, any snow or ice with tires like this. And these were the tires that I did pull off of the back of this C55, and I'm probably gonna have somebody say something down in the comments about why I decided to stick Michelin Pilot Super Sports back here on the back, considering these are a pretty well max performance summer tire. And honestly, the reason is hopefully I'm not going to be driving this car out in inclement weather. So yeah, there's that. But one way that you can check your tires, if you want to do it yourself, is this right here is what you call a tread depth gauge. And you can see there it shows 30 seconds, millimeters, and basically all of that. But back here, these tires, I seriously just got these put on here the other day. And how you use this, you push down on this end of it and it pops that out, and you just kind of set it up there on the tire and yeah, measure it. So these here are measured, let's see, what does that say? About 6 millimeters, which granted, that's a little thin, but that's just the kind of tires that those are. Another thing, while we're talking about tires, is if you look in here on your door, yeah, right there, you can see where it says what kind of pressure you should be running. The fronts are 33 and the rears are 37. But on this car here, one thing that I found running the rear tires at 37, and I'll show you here, these tires really wore out in the center of it. And I think I'm going to start running those rears at about 35, just to kind of keep them from doing that. But yeah, other than that, you want to get out here and get yourself somebody to kind of help you to check your lights, or you could possibly just take your phone and hit the record button and just kind of check to make sure that all your lights are working. But as far as that goes, I think I'm going to leave it there on the mechanical side of things that you want to check out on your car, whether it be a AMG Mercedes or just whatever else you drive. Those are things that, I like to look over, before winter time comes around. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video on this. I do plan on coming out here and doing something about those headlights. I do need to clean those back up. And I'm also going to replace that cabin air filter. But I'm going to save that for another video. And I do also plan on waxing this car before the winter. But on that note, I'm going to close the video off here, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one when I do start taking care of the lights and the paint. But I'd just like to thank everybody for subscribing and watching my videos basically. But thanks again, and hope you guys have a nice one.